George Winslow Whittington. April 22, 1900 to January 22, 1970. A calm and courageous African-American brakeman in North Carolina, George Winslow Whittington was the son of Benjamin Franklin Whittington, 1867 to 1930, and Maggie Carson Whittington, 1870 to 1934. He was born in McDowell County in the Pleasant Gardens community between Marion and Old Fort, North Carolina. A respected resident of Black Mountain for 42 years, Whittington devoted his life to railroading, his tenure spanning the transition from steam-powered engines to diesel. The 1910 census reports Ben Whittington working as a laborer on the railroad. His oldest son, William, 1894 to 1963, was off fighting a war, and his son, Herman, 1896 to 1910, had died young. So 9-year-old Winslow was the oldest male left in a home of 7 siblings when the railroad hired him as a water boy. He was unable to continue his education. Winslow's 1918 World War I draft registration shows him living in Ridgecrest as a section laborer for Southern Railroad Company. The 1920 census finds Benjamin Whittington working as a section hand for the railroad, with young Winslow working there as an extra force at age 19. By 1940, the Asheville City Directory places Winslow in the position of brakeman for Southern Railway System. In that perilous role, gentle-tempered Winslow walked atop moving boxcars to manually set brakes as the steam locomotive sped down winding mountains and through dark tunnels. The 7 tunnels in the stretch of track from Old Fort to Ridgecrest were particularly hazardous. Historically, the brakeman's job was among the most dangerous of the train's crew. Injuries, fatalities, and loss of limbs from falling off speeding trains, being crushed beneath boxcars, or crashing into overhead bridges and trackside structures were common. In the mid to late 1950s, Winslow broke ribs when he fell from a moving boxcar. He eventually returned to work full steam ahead, retiring circa 1963. The merits of the job were good wages and train passes given out to railroad employees and family members with extended privileges on other rail carriers. Consequently, Winslow's wife, Minnie Stepp Whittington, and their 9 children, Lila, David, Willie, Leona, Sharon, Catherine, George, Leslie, and Keith, born between 1935 and 1958, enjoyed travel to populous cities like Tuskegee, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. A steady railroad paycheck and stable values enabled Winslow, a consummate provider, to produce 7 college graduates, setting an undefeated record for the Cragmont community. One tool of Winslow's trade was the railroad lantern, used to communicate signals at night between trains and stations. A vintage short globe lantern presented by Southern Railway Company provides a tangible connection to George Winslow Whittington, an early railroader whose light shone brightly throughout his family, church, and valley.